What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are reacting to episode 2 of Overtake. This one's titled Enthusiasm and Spirit. Two things that are very much needed in any career, really. I mean, if you lack enthusiasm or you lack spirit in what you're doing, how can you say you've given everything, right? So, they're important regardless of where you go. But, especially for racing, you have to believe in yourself, you have to believe in your abilities, you have to believe in your team. Something which maybe is not quite so prevalent here. I'm going to have to look up names because I'm still a bit shaky on names when it comes to first episodes. But we had a very good first episode last time out. The CG was about as expected, but actually slightly better. Because sports animes, they always do CG, and for racing cars, you're going to need to use CG, but it was actually relatively well done for what it was. We're already developing a lot of backstories for characters as well, so we've got Koya Madoka's backstory regarding why he can't take pictures anymore. Something to do with an ocean. I don't know if that's metaphorical or literal. It might be that it's a tragic event. Maybe a tsunami. That, like, if we're going for an actual physical event that happens, then maybe it's a tsunami. Maybe it's just a metaphorical thing. Haruka, we need to discover what's going on with him. Why he's so obsessed with racing. Why he has this attitude that he does about kind of feeling like he has to go alone, when really you need your team around you in a sport like this. But then we've also got the other teams that we're exploring. So it's Belfariso? Yeah, Belfariso is the other team that we are kind of focusing on. They seem to be, we're gearing it up to be, they are the top team, we want to compete with them, we want to beat them. We kind of need to work it through to actually finish a race first, but you know, that seems to be where we're going with that. But I like how we're focusing on two teams. I like how it's not just one team and we're focusing on this, but we seem to have a bit more focus on the other team as well. And yeah, like I said, interesting backstories already going. Sports anime typically don't focus so much on the sport itself. The sport is just the environment in which to show the story. It's the characters and the journey they go through in the sport and in their relationships and in their life. That's what prompts it. So, whilst this is a good advert for Formula 4 and getting young people into racing cars, particularly open-wheelers, to potentially progress on to F3, F2, F1, maybe go to Super Formula, whatever it may be, it's a nice way of advertising, but it's also just a nice story that a non-racing fan might be able to get into. That's something I've seen of some comments in Crunchyroll and AniList and stuff. There's a lot of people that are like, I don't know anything about racing, but it's a nice character-driven story, and I think anime can do that very, very well. But they are staying true to F4 and its regulations, and I need to thank, let me remember your name, Miggy, hope I'm saying that right, on the last episode. Thank you for your comment about clarification on the tyre rule. So in the event that there are 2 rounds at a weekend, which is fairly typical for lower level series, they often have 2 rounds at the same racetrack. Even F2 does that with the sprint race and the feature races, right? So if there's 2 races and events, you have 1 tire for qualifying and racing. And then for, if it's a free race event, which I don't know if it happens so much anymore, at least maybe not in this series. Maybe it happens in other series, but I don't think it happens much in F4 anymore. I think it's just 2, 2, 2, 2 all the way. But if there was free, then they'd have a second tyre available to them. So yeah, that puts a bit more strain on the qualifying position. Do you overdo it in qualifying and then potentially fall back in the race because you've used up your tyres? Or do you put a conservative lap in and then fight your way back in the race? It depends on the point structure. Like, I don't think there are points for qualifying in F4. I think it's all just pure race, right? Let me see, the point system. F4 Japanese Championship. Point system, yeah, 1st to 10th. It's F1. It's F1 point system, okay. and I don't see any mention of a quali point or anything like that. Um, so if I look at last season, for example, uh, yeah, there's yeah, that's all there is. Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's F1 style points, so I'm used to that. 25, 18, 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1, right? Something like that. 25 for a win anyway. So yeah, realistically, going all out in qualifying is good because it means you have good track position. But if you've used all your tyres, you're just going to be gobbled up by those behind. So if you're a very good defensive driver and you're light on your tyres, then yes, go a bit more aggressive in qualifying. Otherwise, maybe conserve a little bit and then use the race pace to get you further. But it also comes down to your setup. How aggressive is your car on its tyres? Like, are you trying to use as much mechanical grip as possible? Are you relying a little more on your aero package? That sort of thing. How do you drive? Like, different driving styles can affect tyre wear rates. Do you like a bit more oversteer or understeer? That can affect whether you're putting more load on the fronts or the rears, things like that. So it's being faithful to that whilst also having a good character story. So for that, loving it, and I'm very excited to see where this goes. And at the very end of last episode, our photographer wants to sponsor the team. I don't know where he has the money for that, but sure, if he wants to sponsor, that would be fantastic. I guess if he can physically do that. I mean, he himself can't really sponsor. His photography company maybe can sponsor. I don't know. I guess we'll see. That seems to be where we're starting off here anyway, and then we'll go into it because we're at the end of the season, right? That was the last round, what we just watched last episode. I think it was the last round of the season. So we are now going into the end of the season and then pre-season for next year. So I'm assuming we're going to start getting ready for that, I assume. We'll see. Um, but yeah, I'm going to shut up and we're going to actually watch the episode because I'm really excited for this. So, as per usual, these are timer-based format reaction videos. So at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a timer for the episode. I'll count down 3, 2, 1, play. Then on play, you start the episode. I start the episode. We should be in sync. Watch this one on Crunchyroll as per usual. No logos or anything. We're just going straight into the episode. No OP. I'm just looking at the manager's like dumbfounded face as he is wanting. He's asked if he can the photographer can be the sponsor. Um, but yeah, if you want to see the picture-in-picture version, so the anime and me on the screen at the same time, my Patreon is down below. £4 a month gets you access to all picture-in-picture access I do here on the channel. Hopefully, they should be about a week in advance. This one might be a little later. They're going to be a bit weird just because I'm on holiday this October, end of October, for my girlfriend's birthday. So recordings are a little weird of that, and they will be weird again in November more than likely, because I have some things happening there which might change a little few things here on the channel. We'll see. But yeah, that's everything I need to say, I think. You can also use Screen Flash on my face to see when the scenes are transitioning, particularly from a very light scene to a very dark scene, things like that. But yeah, I think that is everything I need to say. So with all that said, let's just get into episode 2 of Overtake, shall we? In 3, 2, 1, play. Monster sponsor. Akimotos. Oh, here we are. Mhm. Hmm. Yeah, right in the fun zone. Oh. Yeah, don't break someone's property. Just talk to them. Ah, intro time. Here we go. Nice. The OP's growing on me a lot, I think. Hmm. 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 Yeah, the whole point of sponsoring is money. Ah, the plank. Hmm. Hmm. Too much. 100k a set. Oof. Yeah. Yep. 2.5 mil. All right, let's keep a tally. 2.5 million. Yep. 1.05. Okay. Repairs, replacement, oil. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I didn't need to keep 11 million total. Okay. And they spent about 18. Woof. Hmm. Yeah. It's not like you can really sponsor. I'll look up the conversions of 11 million. Well, to 18. Hmm. Easier than spare. There's the tile. And this is F4. There are 3 divisions higher than this. He's realistic though. Hmm. Hmm. Ah, okay. Hmm. Ah, I see. Hmm. Oh no. Oof. Hmm. That's gonna be it. That explains Haruka's situation a lot more. Hmm. 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 Well, yeah, it would. Hmm. Mm-hmm. That's why he has the paper round. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Hmm. I don't think knowledge is necessarily as important, especially when you get to bigger brands. Bigger brands don't necessarily care; they just want their return on their investment, right? Hmm. No. Ah, interesting. He's hooked into this now. Ooh, hello. Well established team. Ooh. Nice. So I'm guessing this is the Ferrari of F4, is what we're kind of going for here. Fancy garage. A lot more funding. There it is. Beautiful cars. Yeah, GT will probably be more spec series. Hmm. Yes, that's the limit. Mm. So the drivers don't come in part of the cost cap, I guess. Hmm. Hmm. Fair enough. Might not work if we're not on the podium or like in contention, you know? Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. No one's in. Hmm. Nope. Who else would it be? Ex-wife, okay. Mm. Nice. Okay. Yeah. No. Hmm. Mm. Hmm. Fair enough. Yeah. No. We're just gonna get food and drink gifts, huh? Ooh, that's a nice train. It's incredibly well detailed. Sorry, I got distracted by trains. Hmm. Uh, sure. Hmm. Raceman? Yeah. Oh, nice. Uh, uh, hmm. Mm. I mean, yeah. We're not gonna see what you got. It's gonna be like a pin or something. Oh, a little sticker. Nice. Every hero is a fiery spirit. Very nice. ED time. Very nice episode. We have an end credits. Oh, we do. We have something extra. Hmm. Hmm. That's that. That's that picture. Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. We got that bit right at the end there. Didn't quite expect that. All right. So first things first. Let's get these things out of the way that I was going to look up. So yen to the Great British Pound Sterling. So 18 million is more or less the limit that they have. That is 18 million. Yeah, 18 million yen. 100k. Okay, 100k. That's respectable for F4, I suppose. Um, is that accurate? Uh, I don't think. Where is it? There it was. Yeah, so the long-term intention of F4 was to bring the cost down to under 100,000 euros per year to compete. So that more or less tracks with what is expected. Yeah, that seems about right. To put it in perspective, the F1 cost cap, what is it this year? So yeah, for 22. Yeah, so for last season, I don't know what it is for this season, but for last season it was $140 million. So let's just put this to US dollars real quick, just to show how absurd a difference it is. That is what? 20 billion yen? 21 billion yen? Near enough. So, yeah. Yeah, that's what, a factor of 10,000? Yeah, so that's 1,000 times more more investment. Yeah, that's a fair amount. That makes sense. So yeah, motorsport is a very expensive sport, but because F4 is, like they said, a spec series, it means that everything's more or less the same. The only really thing that makes a difference in F4 is the driver and the setup. They haven't really mentioned setup yet, but the way you set up the car is still allowed to be altered. You can't get a new engine, you can't get new parts, but you can tweak the setup of the car so you can make it softer on the suspension, harder on the suspension. You can adjust the brake biases a bit, I'm assuming. There's a number like the toe angles of your front wheels. there are small little adjustments you can make to maybe suit the track that you're at or suit your driving style for the drivers that you have. So there are some little tweaks, and that's where the teams will make that money known. Like, the knowledge that the team brings to it means you can develop a more effective race car for your driver, even if you have all the same parts. Because not everyone drives the same. Not everyone likes a car that is super oversteery, for example. Some people might enjoy a little bit of understeer. They might want it to be, like I said, a little more slidey. They might want it to be a bit more twitchy. They might want it to be more smooth, because that's the thing. Even in F1, there are different driving styles. Some drivers are more smooth with it. Some drivers like to, especially in the olden days, back when, like 2006 era, like Alonso was like really kicking it, like just yanking the wheel and just like seesawing essentially, because it would get the heat into the tires and allow it to grip up just that little bit differently, as opposed to just going smooth, which is great for aero, but back then the aero wasn't always the key factor. Some of it was, a lot more of it was on mechanical grip. Whereas nowadays it's all about downforce, and when it used to be wings, now it's all about the underfloor with the ground effect cars of today, which changes things, because you have the plank on the F4 cars. I mean, F1 cars still have a plank, but it's just they still use ground effects to generate downforce. But yeah, very good episode. Enjoyed that massively. Just because I'm a nerd, I want to know. I want to know what that train was, because that is a very specific train. And therefore, if it's preserved somewhere, I want to know where it is. So, as far as I can tell, it's a Class D52 JNR. When were these made? So this is... Oh, this is World War II era build. Okay. 282s. 85 ton. Beautiful. Could do 50 mile an hour. Alright. Good tractive effort. 7 of which are now preserved. Alright, so we have 170, 72, 136, 235, 50, 403, and 468, I should say. So that was D5272. Therefore, we are in Gotemba Shizuoka. I've butchered that. I apologize. So that is there. Okay. I now know where in Japan we are. That's kind of cool. And it's still an area of Japan that's growing. Or was in the last 10 years. Climate data, yeah, it's getting hotter. That's fair. Very interesting. Oh, apparently this area was a major base for the Imperial Japanese Army. Okay, and it still holds a training area for Ground Self-Defense Force and US Marine Corps. Nice. Okay. Very nice. Good to know. It's just a cool little bit of history there. Just to have a train just chilling there. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Anyway, that's just me nerding out a little bit. If you didn't know, aside from being a racing fan, I like trains. I like trains. So seeing that was like, I need to know where you are. So I'm glad we got there. But apparently there's also another one in Shizuoka. In Numanzu, so a bit further south. But that one's in population decline. Interesting. Cool. Very nice. I'm a nerd. Don't mind me. I like cars. I like trains. I like things. All right. What can I say? Anyway, that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the one as much as I did. Great episodes. More character development. Learn a lot more about our driver Haruka and why he's motivated to do what he is and the circumstances that led him to this point. And obviously the pain that he felt during that picture. which I feel is going to cause some more issues further down the line, because I don't know if he's necessarily that happy with that picture. He's not happy with it, but now the editors have that picture still. So we'll see if that is of help or hindrance in the future. But like I said, thank you for watching. Leave a like if you've enjoyed the episode, as well as your comments down below on what you thought. Don't forget to hit subscribe as well to see next week's episode, as well as the rest of the full 2023 lineup you can find on my channel. Thank you for watching. Till next time. See you guys later.